For the past couple of months, the WHAS 11 News I-Team has been working with the Metro Police Cold Case Unit and other agencies to shine new light on cold case investigations. And tonight, we're going to focus on the death of Western Kentucky University student Cheryl Williamson, whose murder on a Thanksgiving weekend outside a downtown Louisville event space remains unsolved 5 years after the crime. The circumstances surrounding her death may sound familiar and spark a lot of memories, and police are hoping those memories will turn into new leads. Here's the I-Team's Derrick Rose.
It was one of the best pageants that WKU has had thus far.
Well, this is for the big chick.
Her spunk and her attitude, like her confidence and her attitude.
The girls who will set their bellies and embrace them like, just love it.
I mean, she was serious about it.
Cheryl Williamson had the crowd on their feet when she performed at this pageant on her college campus, a role she took on in real life.
She would walk to class like she was in the pageant. She would leave class like she was in the pageant. She would dress like she was in the pageant. She lived the pageant.
Terrence Williams met Cheryl at Western Kentucky University. He was new to the campus, and Cheryl took him under her wing.
From there, we just clicked, and we were inseparable from then.
The year was 2007. Terrence, a first-generation college freshman. Cheryl, a sophomore.
So we basically were each other's support system.
Not just for Terrence, the support left an impact on Cheryl's friends that will last a lifetime.
Cheryl was one of the many reasons why I myself and a few other people graduated.
Despite the help she gave others toward their goal of graduation, that day would never come for Cheryl.
She wanted to graduate, and it was only months before, and she wasn't able to.
It was November 25th, 2012. Cheryl arranged a trip back to Louisville from Bowling Green for the Thanksgiving holiday, but a day of celebration turned into a night of tragedy.
It was a big loss. It still is.
Cheryl and her friends wanted to get together for a night of fun, so they came downtown to the Gillespie, where there was a party and hundreds of people celebrating. They were all having fun when all of a sudden a fight broke out. And as people were headed for the door, someone pulled out a gun and started shooting. And Cheryl was hit.
We had a really, really good time. And I wouldn't ever think that that would be our last time together.
Doctors performed surgery, but Cheryl did not pull through. Louisville Metro Police Sergeant Anthony Wilder was a detective in the homicide unit. He was assigned to Cheryl's case and called to the scene to investigate.
Still to this day, out of hundreds of potential witnesses that were leaving that club and seen or heard or have talked about it, no one has come forward.
Cheryl's friends were stunned. Words tough to come by, especially for those who were with Cheryl moments before she was killed.
Stop the violence!
We spoke to Cheryl's mother at that time, and for Donetta Williamson, she remembered her daughter's passion and dedication and how much she loved Western.
Her life, that was her world. You know, it's something she wanted to do, and she worked hard at it. And then her life ended.
Donetta told us there was a knock at her door around 4 on a Sunday morning. She was already awake, waiting for Cheryl to come home for her night out, but Cheryl was not there. Instead, it was LMPD.
That's obviously one of the hardest things that you have to do as a homicide detective is speak with the family under those circumstances.
For Detective Wilder, cases like this take an emotional toll on investigators as well as families he's come across.
Sometimes the first contact that we have with the victim's family is not only trying to figure out information from them, but we're there and we're going to tell them about their loved one's death all in one conversation. So that's very hard to deal with.
She was brokenhearted. She was really brokenhearted.
4 years after her daughter's death, Donetta Williamson also passed away. She died just before Christmas last year, not knowing who killed her daughter or why. The same questions still linger for detectives.
What I personally think about is the fact that the person that did this, what else have they done since then?
But Terrence tries not to think about it. He'd rather concentrate on his friend and what she would want him to do without her.
All of those good memories, they still lie in my mind. I just still miss her and would just much rather have her back to build more memories.
Now, our look at the investigation into the murder of Cheryl Williamson does not end there. On the other side of this break, an ironic twist for Williamson's best friend as he tried to move on from the pain of losing someone so close.
And I actually was there that night with Savannah, and it really just gave me a flashback. Like I'd never seen this girl before.
Next, the situation Terrence Williams found himself in, a tragic feeling of deja vu, and the help he received from a fallen friend. Part 2 of our look inside this investigation, the Cheryl Williamson case, coming up after this. Part 2 of our WHAS 11 News I-Team investigation, the murder of Cheryl Williamson. She was a Western Kentucky University student who was home in Louisville for the Thanksgiving holiday in 2012. She was gunned down outside an event space in downtown Louisville, located in what is usually one of the city's safest blocks. That's near 5th and Market. Here's the I-Team's Derrick Rose.
Trying to move on after the death of his best friend, Cheryl Williamson. She was killed in a shooting during a party at the Gillespie in downtown Louisville in 2012.
All of those good memories, they still lie in my mind. I just still miss her and would just much rather have her back to build more memories.
In his process of moving forward, Terrence found himself at the Tim Faulkner Gallery. It was March 19th, 2017, and again, hundreds of people there, and again, another fight followed by gunfire. This time, University of Louisville student Savannah Walker was the person killed, one of several people who were shot that night, and Terrence was there too.
It really just gave me a flashback. Like I'd never seen this girl before, but I mean, it just still hit home with me, and I know her family wants answers.
In the middle of the chaos, something kicked in. Perhaps it was instinct. Perhaps he had help from an angel.
There was also another girl who got shot there, and I helped her just because of my friend and what happened to her.
Terrence helped get that young lady to a hospital, and she survived her injuries. But it still means another case on the books for homicide detectives.
If we can start getting some cooperation and people coming forward, you know, maybe that'll give pause to somebody before they pull that trigger next time, because they'll think about getting caught.
For them, they need help solving these cases, and time is not an issue.
We're not concerned with why it's taken you 5 years to come forward with this information. We just want the information.
It's been 5 years and the pain is still fresh for Terrence and for some of his fellow classmates, including our own anchor and reporter Tabney Dozier. Cheryl and Terrence both had a love for fashion design, and he's continuing that work today, his inspiration drawn from Cheryl in a message he received after her death.
I found a book when we were cleaning out her room, and she was writing about me. And, whoa, sorry. She said, as much as I've learned from her, I've unknowingly showed her and taught her so much.
Since Cheryl's death, Terrence has become the father of 2 girls of his own. It was a life cut short, but had an impact as big as Cheryl's smile. And although his best friend's murder remains unsolved, he knows his greatest responsibility is to continue to make her proud.
Just know that my daughters know who she is.
44, 42, 46.
For the I-Team, Derrick Rose, WHAS 11 News.